friends, welcome to my channel. And yes, I know you're seeing a bunch of empty medication bottles in front of me, but before I get into this, let me give you the backstory about these medication bottles, and then we're gonna hop into what I'm doing for today's vlog. Okay, as many of you who follow this channel may know that I am a nurse, and one of the things nurses do, especially nurses like me who are in the hospital setting, do is that we reconstitute medication. What does that mean? It basically means the majority of the medications that we would administer to patients, especially intravenously, comes in powder forms. They generally comes in little vials like these that are in powder forms. We'll put diluent in those. Diluents are usually intravenous water. So we'll put intravenous water in these, mix it up, reconstitute it, and then pull it out with a syringe and then administer that to patient. All that process, the reconstitution process, is done in a room that we like to call our medication room. That's where we reconstitute or mix medications. Yeah, this is how we mix medications generally, or mix medications. What we do with these bottles then is that we will throw this in the bin because it's no longer, we no longer have use for it. We reconstituted the medication and we have administered that, and we had pulled that medication out in a syringe to give the patient, and this goes into the garbage. So that brings me to these bottles. So I had a friend of mine, and she gave me this amazing idea to use these empty discarded bottles to use as containers to put like my liquid art supplies. For instance, like maybe some inks or something, just to use for liquid art supplies, because I was always on the hunt for small bottles. And then I was like, yeah, I do use a lot of these little bottles a lot in my work, and we just throw these away. It's not like we save them for any massive reason. We throw these away. These go into the garbage. We can repurpose this. So this is another shot where I actually repurpose something that I use, that we throw away at work, for art, and this is one of them. Now I have these out because after I took the labels off, washed these and took the labels off these, I will now open them up. And to open them up, I use my pliers and my wire cutter. Point of confession, these are actually the medication bottles I used. I haven't asked any of my other colleagues to donate to this cause. These are actually, and this is only within what, 2 shifts. I told you guys I work 12 hours a day, and sometimes I will have more than 2 patients. I think at one point for those 2 shifts, at one point I have like 8 or 9. So this is actually over the course of 2 shifts medications, and I have not asked any of my other colleagues to donate to this cause. So I think this is enough bottles for me. I mean, if I continue this venture for a week, I think I will have boxes of bottles, to be honest. But this is it. I think I'm done for today. This is enough for me. Anyway, let me get into now taking these off. So first I use this little doohickey here. I don't know what it's called, but I like it because it has a really sharp point, and I will be very careful and try my best just to open it up like this. See, and I pull this off. Just try to be as careful as possible, because even though these are metal bits and this is still glass, so you need to be very careful. And then I use this little doohickey here. I think this is my wire cutter. And I clip it, and then I will open. If I can, I'll be carefully open it, and there we go. 1 bottle down. Now I just have a lot more to go.
Her alarm goes off and she gets up to watch the morning news. Doesn't work no more, but tells a lot of stories about her youth. Drinks more lately, ain't got pills in many different colors too. Morning light is showing, she moves the chair to look out at her view. But her shop was built right across the street. It stands where the sunrise used to be. In the afternoons on the couch to read, goes through old pictures Our heroes have been forgotten. Our heroes, so they got old. Our heroes have been forgotten. Our heroes, so brave and bold. Our heroes have been forgotten. Our heroes, so they got old. Our heroes, so they got old. Our heroes, so they got old. Smiles they fade because her daughter only visits once a month.
Okay, so while I was doing this, it really sings home to me the amount of wastage we do in the healthcare industry, because all these bottles here was over the course of 2 shifts. Okay, not 3, not 4, 2 shifts. And I'm not saying we give the patients a lot of medications. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just saying in the healthcare industry, we do a lot of wastage. Because after we reconstitute medication, this basically goes in the garbage bin, you know? And then I remember I told you guys about these, which were the caps for the insulin syringes. And all this was over the course of like a week. And you know, these were my patients. It's not like I asked my colleagues to contribute to my waste collecting cause or anything. You know, it's just when I open an insulin syringe and I take the cap off the plunger, I set it aside and I reuse these for my dip pens. I basically made a dip pen holder and I put one in here and I reuse them for my dip pen. See, I already have some in here already. I think I already used my dip pen. Let me pop a stuff in here and see, look, perfect size for the dip pen. It's a great little dip pen thing. And so yeah, but like I said, it really, you know, sends home, you know, some of the stuff we just basically waste. And this is just the stuff that, you know, we're using. There are other stuff that, sorry for the major highway that I live near. I think there's a big truck passing. That even also you have stuff that, you know, because I do work in the healthcare industry. I am a nurse, and we buy stuff for patients in bulks, you know. So instead of buying like maybe a box of syringes, we'll buy, you know, containers full of syringes. And if we don't use all those syringes up within a given amount of time frame, they expire. What do we do if for the entire year, instead of using an entire container full, I'm talking container, huge truckloads container full of syringes, what do we do if maybe we only use about 3/4 of that? The 1/4 of that now is expired. What do we do with them? I remember I was working at a clinic and we found boxes, I mean boxes of expired syringes. And we basically have to send those back so that they can incinerate them, because we can't use expired syringes on the patients. So that goes for incineration. And it's just like, it just really brings home like the amount of wastage we do. What do we do with these stuff? I mean, obviously we can't give them to the general public. Obviously we can't use them within the healthcare system, but I am not sure, you know, I think there's some creative ways that we can use our wastage in the healthcare industry. I'm sorry for this to go on a rant, but I am serious. Like, for instance, you look at these little bottles. I washed the outside of them, so now I'm gonna go, and since I already took the metal pieces off, I'm gonna wash the inside of them. For me, you know, instead of me going to the Home Depot store or the craft store or my local craft and stationery supply stores and buy little containers to hold inks or my little liquid mediums, I could use these, and see, they're perfect size. I take off the metal bits and I have little bits here with covers. I can reuse them in that sense. Now I have to go and rewash all these stuff so I could wash the inside of them. Even look at this little one. I think this one is so cute. It's a perfect little size to hold a little bit of ink. You know, instead of me having to bulk around my entire bottle of ink container here, I could put a little bit in here, and this is what I'll use. And when this is all used up, just put some more in here, and this way I can preserve my bottle of ink here. You know, come on. These are some perfect little size bottles. I mean, it's just to find creative ways to use our wastage, because like I said, in the health industry, and I'm not sure if it's health industry everywhere, but I think the healthcare industry's wastage is probably the same, whether it's in my little country of Belize or even industrially, it is probably the same. We could probably find creative ways to use our wastage and kind of reduce our carbon emissions. Let me stop my rant and take these now over to my sink and wash them out with some bleach and stuff. And with that said, guys, I know I wanted to show you how I washed them out and all that, but I just went on my rant and I don't want this video to go too long. So I'm going to end it here. And I'm going to thank you so much, because I really do thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on this channel. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for listening to my rant. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.